Stake it, Meta Pool. Out to the people, that's the rule. No more banks, no more fools. We build, we earn, we bend no rules. Stake it, Meta Pool. From black to the ballroom tool. Close the playlist, woo!
Okay, hello everybody. Seems that we are live right now. Welcome to this stream. Taking the opportunity that we have to talk about more about Node Studio, this product that we have been developing along with Openmesh. We have a special guest for this session. We have Johnny with us. Hello, Johnny. Um,
Hey
probably
guys.
before of anything else. Hi, Johnny. I'm Alan. I'm head of the Node Runners program here at Meta Pool. Johnny is DevRel at OpenMesh. Johnny, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. My name's Johnny. I've been at Openmesh for like a year now. A core contributor, and working in DevRel in general. So, yeah, being a big believer in the mission of Openmesh, and really happy that we were able to build something that Metapool can really use and help their people build and launch validators.
Awesome. Welcome, Johnny. Thank you for your time, for your patience. I know we started a couple of minutes later, but surely we will recover the time with a good conversation on this stream. So, first of all, this stream is all about Node Studio. Node Studio is the product that we have been announcing on the last weeks. Node Studio allows people to launch a node easily, so anyone, and I mean really anyone, can launch and start running a node without any technical experience. We tested this with many people that we know, that we allow them to be part of a Node Studio on a proof of concept that we run. And we included designer, we included marketing team, we included people that is not related to the technical side, that is almost the most common thing to run a node, and we allow them to start running a node with Node Studio without any real friction. So this means like a game changer inside of how nodes are being run right now inside of NIR protocol, because on the past we have like this technical requirement where people needs to know how to manage a virtual machine, how to run console, how to debug all the issues that you have behind of running a node inside of a terminal, or using, or the technical knowledge about using Linux or Ubuntu or any other Unix-based operating system to run a node. So that was like the hard part behind of this. And I think that, and that's the exciting thing that we have right now. We make it pretty easy to anyone to start running. And this is not only about lowering the technical skills. At the end, it is also about making the centralization easy for everyone. So when you are trying to become part of a network, you have a best opportunity to make it if you have lower barriers to entry inside of the validator set, instead of having to pass through many technical challenges before being able to run a node. So on the other hand, I think that we also need to link to NIR protocol because since the beginning, the technical specifications about having a node running have many advantages compared to other networks. So on the same staking pool, you can have an unlimited number of tokens being staked for your validator. And also we have no real exploration risk. So that's something that we think is a real advantage because many people is always thinking that they need to be uh, on top of all of their validators because slashing is something that is something that can hurt their operations, and that is not happening right now inside of NIR protocol. So, well, so that's like a resume of what we has been passing through. This is an AMA, so I see many people that is joining. We have Luis Manco, we have Mandalorian, Raul Lopez, we have Nikhil. Welcome everyone. Feel free to ask any question, and also feel free to leave any comment that you have related to Node Studio, and also well you can ask anything about OpenMesh, Meta Pool, and protocol. So, Johnny, I think that well I have been talking a lot, and I want that more. That the next thing that we can go on inside of this conversation is uh, well, can you tell us more about what is OpenMesh? So, what are you currently developing? Probably an intro how Node Studio started, and with this, probably have a general idea of how is OpenMesh contributed to create decentralization tools.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, basically, OpenMesh started like 3 years ago. The founder Ashton basically saw a gap in the market where there was a lot of people centralizing in Web3, where up to 80% of Web3 applications were typically just hosted on AWS, along with Azure and GCP, Google and Microsoft. So between those three big cloud providers, there was a huge aggregation of centralization of apps being deployed to these big cloud providers. That brought a lot of issues, especially for Web3 when you're talking about decentralization. Clearly, there's a middleman, so potentially if you violate the terms and conditions of, say, Amazon, or they might release a competing product, then they could turn around and maybe turn your server off and block the Web3 application that you spent money and time building up. That could be potentially at risk of a middleman turning that off, which is similar to censorship. So turning it off and having a big platform in the middle that controls your hardware and your cloud was a big problem, especially in the Web3 space. So it could be a DeFi application, it could be a token launch platform that someone's built. And if the whole thing is hosted on one centralized provider, it could be turned off. So that was the gap that Ashton saw, and basically what OpenMesh started building 3 years ago was a way to aggregate bare metal providers all around the world. Now you're talking hundreds of data centers. You've sort of mentioned in the previous technical demo Francisco was doing in a live stream. Basically, High Velocity is a bare metal provider. So High Velocity is an example of a really successful bare metal provider, 150 plus data centers all around the world in every continent. And basically what they do, they don't provide AWS S3 buckets or any software products like that. What they do is just provide bare metal hardware. And what that is here's the hardware in a nice, clean, aircon data center in your location, and they just rent the computer hardware to the user or to the developer of the app or the person that's running the server infrastructure. They rent that to you at very low costs when compared to, say, AWS, Azure, and GCP. So with all these bare metal providers all around the world. There was an opportunity to aggregate all of those into what Openmesh is today. So it's a way to aggregate up to 32 bare metal providers all around the world. And then when you go to deploy your app, you can actually run through and select any of these different providers. And what that means is you're not centralizing just on the AWS data center or the Azure data center. You're actually able to choose all these bare metal providers, which again is just wholesale rental of hardware in a data center. And you can choose and select where you want to deploy your application. So that is really exceptional for people to be able to decentralize their application. They're not relying on the middleman. They can actually get up to 90% discount potentially. We've seen in some apps where they might be spending like $5,000 with AWS per month. But yeah, you can really drive that cost down when you're just looking at the CPU, the memory, the storage, the bandwidth, looking at those metrics for the hardware that you're renting, and then you can actually drive that cost down the wholesale rates where it's commoditized. And that's what the studio does. It runs through all these hardware providers and gets you the best price. Similar to Airbnb and Skyscanner, where it just aggregates all the providers of that bare metal, and you can actually go through and select that. And that's part of the Node Studio that we've provided, where you can actually run through and select different providers.
Yes, I think that many of the things that you mentioned make sense to the to our own experience that we have with different people trying to run a node. I remember that almost 3 years ago, when State Wars 3 was organized inside of NIR protocol, there was like big questions about where to run your servers, your virtual machines, in order to be able to run your own node. And AWS is one of the most expensive ways to run a node, at least for NIR protocol, because by the business model that they manage. I think AWS. I mean, it is a good solution for many things that we have on the internet, but specifically for running nodes, it have a big cost related to maintain the infrastructure for running on the protocol. So, and we faced like a couple of challenges because many big corporations or institutions have like standards where they can only use AWS or GCP or Azure or any of others of these big players, and move them to any other cloud provider, make it hard, make it a hard time for them to change all the internal process in order to be able to use other kind of machines or providers that can provide these virtual machines. So that was a topic, but I think so far there are many lessons learned about this. There is still people that once that we make an intro to them, they prefer like to make it on the old style that is available. So they start renting a virtual machine on AWS, but that doesn't last too much because the prices make them to move to any other provider that allows them to have a lower cost to run a node. Um, and yeah,
I can
I
actually
mean,
expand on that. I can expand on that point as well. So probably like 10 to 15 years ago, the market for cloud hosting of apps, basically they got targeted by these big players like AWS, Azure, GCP. So app developers literally were doing courses, getting trained on how to deploy on these three big products, getting certified, getting jobs on these big cloud providers. And then I guess along the way, people just forgot how to deploy on a bare metal normal server, how to install Linux, how to run their own software on top of the bare metal hardware. And there is an argument there that if you want convenience and sort of speed to get someone to come in and build an application, you would hire someone that's AWS certified, GCP or Azure certified. And that's still a good choice for certain industries. The problem is, though, in Web3 industry, that leads to centralization. The app developers just deploy straight onto AWS because that's what they know how to do. And then they sort of avoid all the other hardware providers around the world that can also host that application. It is a lost art, and what we've done is try to automate a lot of that cloud stack where it's completely open source, and this Openmesh Studio is where you can actually have a look at the code, see how we deploy it, and fundamentally we're running a fork of NixOS, which is a Linux distro, and we're able to deploy that level of code on top of bare metal servers and do it at scale. And then we have, if you know NixOS, it's a very successful data center Linux operating system where everything's reproducible and declarative. So what that means is, you sort of mentioned it just before, where you might build an application on AWS, you're using specific S3 buckets and specific AWS products, but then when you go to try and migrate that through a bunch of developers, obviously, to migrate that across to GCP or Azure, it's very difficult to lift and shift that application workload across. So if you completely get rid of all of the middleman stack and just have an open source Linux sort of compatible code base using NixOS, you can deploy packages, which are basically a way to configure an application environment and deploy it, whether it's on a high velocity server, a Vultr server, Equinix server. Doesn't matter what bare metal provider it is. You can even use AWS bare metal if you want to. Again, they're more expensive than the others in the competitive space. But yeah, basically, it doesn't matter what bare metal provider you're using. You can deploy that same, NixOS or Nixified application across any of these bare metal providers. Like I said, 32 different bare metal provider companies around the world, hundreds and hundreds of data centers. And if you don't like one of the data centers or they block you, you can redeploy the app very quickly to another data center through the studio. So it's just like I said, it's a decade of people not deploying on bare metal servers, and we built a platform where you can pick that up again and easily deploy it. Like you said, you don't have to be an infrastructure engineer through the studio and through NixOS and the fork of that, which is Xnode OS. Then you're able to deploy all these applications on top of it, including the near validator.
Yeah, that's true, and I think that's why all of this makes sense. And probably I want to move this conversation into a parallel topic that goes with this conversation. That is why making or launching Node Studio along with Meta Pool and collaborating with Meta Pool makes sense for your team. Why? I have been in different conversations with the OpenMesh team, but I want that you can explain to us your point of view about why collaborating with us to make this program and platform possible.
Yeah, exactly. So, we're all Web3 based in OpenMesh. So everyone is a crypto native that contributes to the project. It's open source. And we're strong believers in decentralization. And that includes the financial layer, the blockchain layer of Web3. And, one of the big things that we can give back to Web3 is actually helping validators deploy their blockchain nodes on top of bare metal hardware in a decentralized way. And for us, it's just really important to sort of be able to provide that capability to everyone. Like you said, you don't have to be an infrastructure engineer and understand all the in and outs of Linux. You can do it in a sort of a no code, one click sort of 3-click solution. For us, it was really important for the decentralization of Web3. And it sort of goes back to the founder's problem that he saw 3 years ago, where 80% of Web3 applications, whether they're token launched or DeFi apps or whatever, DEXs, they're all running on these centralized cloud platforms that could be turned off at any time. So for us, that's a big risk for Web3, and that risk can be mitigated with a platform like the studio.
Awesome. Yeah, and I want to mention that I think we haven't highlighted this yet, but remember that along with Node Studio, we have also a program to support all the people interested to become part of the NIR protocol network as a validator, because yeah, you have like the infrastructure, the validator, the virtual machines, all of that technical specs that you require to become part of the network. But the other important thing is that you also need staking on a proof of stake token and in a proof of stake based network. So on that side, we have a program here for you at Meta Pool that can allow you to become part of the NIR protocol network. And I'm showing to you right now the nodestudio.metapool.app's website that we have available. So here you can find both options that we have available for you. If you don't have 25,000 NIR tokens to be a validator, you can choose to apply for support from Meta Pool and NIR Foundation in order to receive delegation. And this is only available if you are currently using Node Studio. So that is a good opportunity for you to start testing an easy to run platform along with Meta Pool and Openmesh. And in case that you have the 25,000, because we have many people that is interested to run this on the institutional way, you can start now. You can go directly to the Node Studio site, and as you can see, it is a really easy and clean platform where you can start launching your own node and start deploying your validator. So here I'm showing part of what we have on the Node Studio process. As you can see, it is pretty easy. You choose the kind of hardware that you are interested to use for your validator. You put your API keys that should be used for having a validator running on Node Studio. And there is a couple of more configuration that you should be running. I don't have like I wouldn't do the full process right now, but I think was worth to show it to you to make to show it to you how it is working right now. So I'm looking if we have any other questions so far. So I think that where we have a question from Mike Galactic that says, "Hi, when you are ready to take questions, I have a select problem. I'm setting up a node. It's all done, but it's not popping up in Node Studio, and the import button doesn't work." So yeah, our team already answered that. We have support tickets on Metapool that you can open, and we can help you to solve any issue that you can have related to that. In case that we find a bug or something that needs to be fixed, surely we will share this to the OpenMesh team so they can put their technical skills to solve all of the issues that you can have. How to stake to my node? It is now functional. We have Barry01 that is making this question. So, in case that you already have your node working, surely you will be having your own staking pool. The staking pool will allow you to stake tokens inside of your validator. This means that you can go to any NIR wallet, and having any NIR wallet will make possible for you to stake your tokens into your validator and to start making start earning staking rewards in case that you are already in the validator set. So we have other people that is here. We have is saying hello, Web3 Beast, Punu, Sky Empire, welcome everybody. Punu mentioned that I was going through Node Studio, docs and all. So, okay, nice. Thank you for reviewing them. Mandalorian asked link to the docs. So we have a couple of documentations about Node Studio, so you can review the docs at Meta Pool. I will share it um, here on the backstage so more people can share. But Johnny, probably is worth to ask what do you think is the best way that people can also start solving all of their questions? I know we have documentation on Metapool, but what will you recommend in order that anybody have like technical challenge about setting up their node?
Yeah, I mean, the Metapool documentation is excellent. Francesco just did a whole run through of Node Studio on the previous live stream like an hour ago. So that was, I watched that. That was really good as well. So you're in good hands with the documentation, and then the demos you guys do is an excellent job. The other way you can do it is, reach out to Openmesh. We have Discord and Telegram that's manned, so you can, reach out to our community managers there for any support. But yeah, basically, Metapool is doing an excellent job with managing Node Studio, and we don't really hear too many problems. Like I said, we've templated it and automated it to a point where once you deploy it once, it's redeployable again and again and again. And basically, as long as you're keeping that node near validator software up to date to the latest version, then you shouldn't be seeing any issues that are sort of exceptional or completely out of the norm. Like we said, it's sort of once you deploy it once, it's repeatable over and over and over again, reproducible code. So it is very stable, and yeah, I hope you guys are enjoying using it. And looking back sort of 3-4 years, it was a lot more difficult to deploy near nodes. So I hope it is a lot easier for you guys.
Okay, awesome. We have a couple of other comments. Here we have Punu mentioned, if I'm running a node through the PNO cohort number 2 program, I'm going around 29 per month in cost. What benefits or rewards can I expect if I don't rank on the top 5 by the end of the year? Yes, this program have special prices for the people that score the best at the end of the year. But remember that while you are being a node runner, you are earning staking rewards. That's also a point, and you are covering you are you are covering, and you are able to claim all of these rewards every epoch once that they are produced. So this is an opportunity for all the people that is running, because we made a calculus about a calculation, sorry, about making viable for the people to start participating and covering at least the expenses required for running this node with the amount of stake that we are assigning. So if you are in touch with Franzo have the business case that can be shared with you, and you can take your own decisions about how this business case work for you. At the end, what we are looking for is people that can be on the long term inside of the NIR protocol network. So you can be entering with this amount of tokens, but as you see, the program rewards also the people, or more than rewards, gives you a score based on the amount of delegation that you are attracting to your node, and this makes possible for the people for making sustainable on the long term by receiving your own tokens and not depending on the delegation that we have, that or in the delegation that we assign to you. So based on this, we think on this program to make this uh, if not profitable at the first moment, at least covering the expenses that you can have by running a node. Also, we put the chance for you to earn a prize at the end of the year. And at the same time, you are already being a validator inside of the NEAR network that allows you to be to attract new delegation that can gives you a better rewards, better return of investment, if you want to say it. I mean, um, well, this is not financial advice or any of that. Just is the parameters that we have for the business case that we have designed for this program. On the same way, the same user asked specifically where will there be any monthly payouts or guaranteed rewards, or are rewards only distributed to the top five at the end, at the conclusion of the program? Uh, well, monthly payouts are generated by the staking rewards that is happening for anybody running a node inside of this program. Guaranteed rewards, there is not such as, because there are many things that can change in the middle, can change the amount of rewards that are being distributed on the network, can change the number of validators. There can be change inside of the tokenomics that doesn't depend of us, depends more on the side of the NIR protocol network and how it is driving the decisions on how the economics on the network can change. That's something that is not common, but can happen. And also the amount of the APYs can change about every epoch can change, and that there is like not a specific number, but we can make like average of how these rewards can look like, and that all is in the business case that we're sharing to you. So we move to the next question. We have Johnny, quick question. You have mentioned that open mesh projects are open source, but I wanted to understand better about the contribution policies and how to contribute to the development of it. Johnny, do you want to answer this?
Yeah, sure. So basically, we do have core contributors contributing to our active GitHub repos now. You can find the link on the website to the GitHub. But basically, it's open source, so anyone can fork, anyone can contribute and do a pull request. Whether that gets approved and then merged into the main code base is another story. So the core contributors now do review the code submissions, and then they'll check that it's the correct features being delivered, test it out, make sure it's secure, things like that. But yeah, it is literally GitHub open source code repos, so anyone can jump on, read the docs, learn it, run it locally, and then contribute to the code base. And we actually want, as DevRel, we really want people to start contributing more. We are in the process of rolling out which Node Studio already is using, which is the version 5 underlying code base. And what that means is it makes it a lot more developer friendly for people to run, test, build apps locally, and then deploy to bare metal cloud providers around the world. Currently we support several bare metal cloud providers for deployments, and then growing that over time. We also have NEAR validator apps, but also other apps you might want to deploy. A simple blog website, or like a Linktree clone is something that we had at a previous hackathon. So I don't know if you guys have heard of Linktree, but basically you spend like $20 per month, and then you can get this very, very basic website deployed. It just has several links to your homepage, your Instagram. So things like that, instead of paying $15 a month or whatever for a Linktree site, you can actually deploy on top of bare metal using open source Next.js template and do it for like maybe $4 a month or even less. So when you start thinking about app deployments and how much you can save, there's a whole world out there where you can deploy it on bare metal and do it a lot cheaper. Like I said, 90% savings is pretty common. But yeah, we really are keen for app developers to build apps. We actually have an app store at Openmesh, so you can see all the different types of apps that other people have built. I think one of the ones we're going to release or is released is, this is just another random topic, but if I can talk about it, basically Discourse is a forum software. You've probably seen Discourse, which is a lot of companies use. I think Docker has a Discourse forum. A lot of tech companies have Discourse. But if you want to map that to your own web domain, you're paying $150 per month for basically an open source software. If you deploy it on your own server, it's free. But if you want to map a custom domain, it's $150 a month. You tell me how that makes sense. The code is open source. The only gap in knowledge is how to deploy it. So what we've done is created an app deployment template. You can 3 clicks deploy that to your own bare metal server. You're not spending $150 on Discourse forum for your business. Typically, it's businesses that run a forum. But yeah, that's just an interesting thing I've personally been working on. So, yeah, really keen to see all the different savings across all the different app verticals on bare metal. And yeah, these apps, you guys are the developers. You should be telling us what apps you want to build. We host hackathons, and you just build them. And the more the better. It is. We're stopping all these different huge tech companies hosting apps and charging huge markup fees by doing it on bare metal and doing it in this sort of fashion. So it really does help the industry. It's a lot more healthier, a lot more decentralized for near validators, but also, all apps in general can be deployed in this manner.
Okay, thank you, Johnny, and thank you for these questions. Art Paul or Paul, I don't know how to mention this, but thank you for your question. Thank you for being part of this stream. Remember that we are solving any question that you have related to Node Studio or OpenMesh or Meta Pool or the Node program that we have to support you for receiving delegation. So in case that you have any question, feel free to share it, and also we will take it in order to answer. So we have another question from Gautam Raj. He say, thank you, Alan. Can participants keep any staking rewards earned from the delegated needs? Yes, the program offers you to keep 7% of the staking rewards that are generated. Remember that you will, when you are receiving delegation from users or from any other source, also these users expect to have a delegation for their own for their own funds, because at the end they are interested also to receive part of the staking rewards. So we offer for the participants of this program to keep the 7% or up to the 7% of the staking rewards that are being generated by having the delegation inside of their validator, the validators. And with this, you can start making the business model that you require for running this node. This is the usual market standards that you can expect from having this kind of delegation. But sorry, I have something in the. This is what you can expect by having your own node running, and this is how many or how much of the different validators inside of the net protocol network are working right now. So that's how it is expected that you can manage and run your validator with the 7% fee. So so far, I don't see any other question. So I think we can wait a couple of minutes in order to be answering all of the questions that we can have from our audience. I think that uh, simplicity is something that implies to use Node Studio, and this is a good fact because we have the opportunity to run nodes on a very easy way, and this is how it is how it was think to be running on this side. So probably, Jody, I think we are over the hour. We're probably over the time. But Johnny, can you tell us more about the next steps that you have in mind for OpenMesh and Node Studio?
Yeah, we do have some developments in the roadmap. Pretty exciting developments. I can sort of run through some of them. Um, Basically, there's a whole bunch of improvements we're doing to make it a lot easier for people to deploy. And every version of Studio, whether it's version 4 or version 5, we're adding features that, like you said, is minimal. It's fixing things that people might get confused on, making it even simpler, making sure all the bugs are gone. And I think version 5, it's like I've said, been in development for 3 years, and it's a pretty stable platform to run near validators on top of, especially through the studio. In terms of upcoming roadmap, there are a few big exciting things that we can't publicly talk about, but yeah, one of the exciting things is basically happening in the next month. So yeah, please come over to OpenMesh, follow the Twitter, and you'll be a part of that community. And yeah, there is a few big things coming in the next month that you should be staying tuned to. So and they're very positive, and yeah, looking forward to the future of OpenMesh.
Awesome, thank you, Yoni. And well, I think that we so far don't have any question. So, well, I think that most of it is really explained on the docs, and also we have a FAQ section where you can review any other question that you can have. Um, Johnny, I think we before we wrap this up, do you have any final comments or anything that we missed to mention during this stream?
No, I think we're pretty good. I'm just really happy that Meta Pool is working with us, and Node Studio is a success, making it easy for people to deploy validators. Making it so that you don't have to be a technical engineer just to be able to run a validator node on a server. I'm really happy that the Node Studio platform you're able to use, and hopefully what this results in for near blockchain is a lot more decentralized validator set across different geographical regions, running on low cost, sustainable hardware. Like you said, if it was run on the most expensive hardware, the node operator normally goes out of business. So we're really happy we can drive that expense cost down for them. And yeah, just contributing to Web3 in general, making it more decentralized. But yeah, people out there that run a validator, other people that don't run a validator, get involved in Web3 in your local communities. It's a pretty exciting industry, a lot of opportunities in the future. So yeah, get amongst it. Thanks.
Okay, thank you very much, Johnny, for your time, and also thank you to the OpenMesh team by making this collaboration possible. I think this is an exciting opportunity that many people on the new protocol ecosystem is looking at, and I think there will be more times to talk about what is happening and the next steps that you currently develop on a next stream or a next conversation that we can have. So. Thank you, Johnny. Thank you for joining, and thank you to all the audience that we have right now. Sorry for starting late, but we had a slight overlap with other stream that was previous to this. Thank you for all the audience to all the audience making their own question. And well, I think this is all for this time, and see you until the next time. Thank you, everybody. See you soon.
Thanks, guys. Bye.